Hey, what's up, everyone? I want to document today. It's Florida, a rainy day. A hurricane is passing to the west side of Florida, and I'm outside sitting in front of the door. I want to share some of my thoughts, and I want to encourage some people with some of the things that I was struggling with. You have value. You have you have value, and I had to remind myself that I have value. I'm not a mistake. I have purpose for being here. If there wasn't purpose, God wouldn't allow me to be here. And these are some things that I even tell my students. And I tell them these things, but I don't believe them, or I didn't believe them for many years. I would say it to them, and I knew it was true. But in my own life and in my own experience and in my own living out of these truths, I was walking haphazardly. I was half stepping. I didn't have a sense of value, or if I did, it was a small sense of value. If I really believed that God made me for a purpose, I would have behaved differently. This is why in my 20s and my 30s, I wasted so much time. So anyone who's listening to this in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, I want to encourage you, or those who are my age or even past me, you have value, and you don't have to say that out of arrogance or out of narcissism. I guess that's the word now that people love to throw around, narcissism. But it's not out of arrogance. You just know that you have value. Out of when you came from your father, when he when you came from him, it was a million plus sperms, and you came out. You met the egg, and you came out. A million died. A million other sperms died, but you survived. That's not happenstance. That's not, that's not luck. God needs you for a purpose. So know that you have value. For those of us who are going through hard times because of our past, and sometimes we can be bound to the decisions of our past, and our past keeps throwing itself back in our face. You have to remind your past that you have value, even though you've done something that you may not be proud of or think that you are straight up ashamed of. Understand that God had you here for a reason, and you have value. Second, you are a sign of value. The fact that you're here, you are a sign of value. The other day, I saw uh, a video of this Brazilian swimmer. The Paralympics was in Paris, and I showed this video to my students because for those who don't know, I teach music, and right now with some of my kids, I'm teaching the guitar, and sometimes they struggle with with playing the guitar with these three fingers, and they have a look on their face as if like this is so hard, it's impossible to do. So at the end of the lesson, I pulled up this video. I forgot his name, a Brazilian swimmer, and he's part of Paralympics. So at the beginning of the video, they they showed a man with no arms and no legs, and they go through all the warm up, they go through all the preliminaries, they all jump in, and then they fire the gun, pow, and then he goes racing, and he has no arms, no legs, and he had no arms, but he has legs. He has two deformed, misshapen legs, and he starts, and he's under the water almost like a swimming like a dolphin. He almost uses his legs like fins from a dolphin, and he's propelling himself under the water until he comes up about 15 yards, and then he goes to one end of the pool, taps, and comes back again, and he wins. Now, mind you, all these other swimmers, they're handicapped for some sort or some way. All these other people, for the most of them, they had legs and arms. It was one other person that didn't have arms and a leg. He had one leg, but the person I'm talking about, he had no arms, and he beat everybody. What he had, he understand that he had to use it. And when I was looking at that video, I understand that when I was looking at him, it made me realize that I am valuable. I have to use what I have. Your hands, your body, your eyes, your nose, your good mind, your mouth, your words, these are all signs of value. When that guy won the gold medal. And when he won the race, it made me really start to check myself and see, what do I have? What are the things that I have in my possession that I can use to propel myself forward to the things that I say that I want to get done? Your body is a sign of value. Your mind is a sign of value. Your words are a sign of value. Your dreams are a sign of value. The thing that you want to create are a sign of value. Don't give up on these things. Whatever you have, use them to the best of your ability. Don't just give up on yourself. And the last one is, be sure of the value. Because sometimes when we create things and when we think about ideas and when we look at our past, we often doubt ourselves. We often criticize ourselves. We often condemn ourselves as if like we are we're impossible of being redeemed. Now, me as a believer, I believe that God has the ability to redeem us. Matter of fact, I don't believe it. I know it. He has the ability to redeem us. Especially when I think about my life, or where I've come from, the things I've partaken in, the things I've done, and a lot of things that I'm ashamed of. But I can't allow those things to paralyze me and stop me from pursuing things that are viable for me, for my family, for my wife, for my children, and even for strangers who actually may see this. Be sure of the value that you have. Again, sometimes our past wants to hold us in chains, but if you move forward, ask God to forgive you. But sometimes we can't even forgive ourselves. If God has forgiven you and you know He has forgiven you, don't hold it against yourself. For some of us, that may take some time, depending on what it was, and and for some of us, it may take a little longer because because a lot of times we doubt God had the ability to actually redeem us and buy us back and change us and shape us. But you need to be sure that you have value, and when you're sure you have value, you will live differently, you will talk differently, you will move differently, you will dream differently, you will create differently. Your relationships will be different because when you have value, you you look at things differently, you treat things differently. Whenever something doesn't have value, you mistreat it and you lose respect for it. Understand that you are valuable and don't give up on yourself. Have a sense of value. You are a sign of value and be sure of the value. Don't give up on yourself. You're valuable. Don't forget it.